Sometimes I feel like I'm watching Big Brother USA because the saying that the host gives, expect the unexpected. So as you can see by the title, Sophie is dating Pedro, Chantel's Pedro. It says here, Sophie's new man is Pedro. Looks like Sophie is dating Pedro. Sophie was posting stories from a road trip with her new boo. On her story, she is showing a glimpse of some man, his jeans and shoes. When you compare them with today's stories from Pedro's Instagram, where he was showing off his jeans and shoes, they are matching. Are we gonna have a next season of Happily Ever After with Pedro and Sophie? First and foremost, they wouldn't be on Happily Ever After. They'll probably be on a different type of 90-day show. Because from my understanding, to be on Happily Ever After, you have to be on a other show first before that happens. Secondly, when we look at the photos itself in hand, you can see you can see a man in this picture here that is driving, white jeans, ripped jeans, also with some shoes. Then you look at Sophie's post, same shoes, ripped jeans. And also, I guess if you want to look at it, the skin complexion as well. Then we move on to the next one. Pedro then also has a post. Same shoes as the one displayed in the car, and ripped jeans has the same ones displayed in this car. So this one is Sophie's post and this one is Pedro's post. So right now the evidence is looking quite strong that these two definitely went to this oasis in Lake Tavis in Austin. Okay, whether or not that confirms that they're actually together is a different conversation. So I don't know if I'm going to go as far as saying that yes, they are actually together, but I would definitely go as far as saying that they most certainly look like as if they did enjoy a good time together, because as you can see, passenger princess, as she would be of course, and then also on top of that, we're looking at Pedro driving his car. And also, other key thing that I've just realized, in this one we see the car. You see the car that's been driven, it is a Mustang. Then you fast forward to, hold on a minute. So this one's a bit interesting because this one doesn't show who it is in particular, but I'm gonna go off the whim and say that this is probably Pedro's post, even though it hasn't got a name, which is very annoying. But obviously we're looking at the cars that are displayed as well. The car is pretty much the same as well. Now, with that being said, let's get into the comment section to see exactly what people had to say. I am so looking forward for their mums to meet. I mean, listen, to be honest with you, the chances of ever seeing Sophie's mum back on 90 Day Fiancé again are probably very, very slim. But that would be a very, very interesting interaction if these two really are getting together and if they was to go that far, because damn, that would be interesting. But let's not forget though, Claire's already been in a position where she had to go one-on-one against Rob, but also go one-on-one against Sophie's friend Kai as well. This time she'd have to go one-on-one with a whole mother and sister. Damn. And then also, let's not forget the way they like to always tease that girl who's Pedro's sister's friend. Yeah, so that would be quite interesting, to be fair. Also, he says here, I think this meeting could go wilder than the famous dinner with Pedro and his sister at Chantel's family home. I mean, listen, absolutely, it could 100%. And then also on top of that here, this person comes in and says, why would you date Pedro knowing his mom and his sister are like, yeah, but then at the same time, let's keep it a buck. Sophie isn't the kind of person that would really take that into consideration. She's the kind of person who, if she wants something, she wants it and then that's it. And then she'll find out the madness after. I guess at once upon a time, she wanted Rob. And then when she moved, she realized that Rob ain't shit. Because she really didn't look into it that much. Because she acts first, thinks later. And that has always been one of her biggest issues. Obviously here someone says they'll both be on the single life, which I think is probably most likely, and for the dollar, which is again probably likely, to be fair with you. But also on top of that, this person comes in and says that's so stupid on her part. She strikes me as someone who wants to be babied in life and have no responsibilities, and one of the reasons Chantel and Pedro broke up was the whole clingy thing. Pedro would do better with a traditional woman, a traditional wife, not Sophie. Seems like a meaningless, purely lustful relationship. Long term, they're doomed. And you know what though, I agree with that 1000%, because if you look at the relationship that Pedro had with Chantel, it did pretty much start to go downhill. I mean, there's always been a speculation that he used her to come to the States anyway, but apart from that speculation, we saw that the breakdown in their relationship came down to the fact that Chantel just wasn't the traditional wife that he was looking for, somebody that would stay at home and do all the cooking and cleaning and whatnot. Chantel was somebody that still wanted to go out there and have a career of her own, and then also on top of that, you know, I guess wanted to kind of share responsibilities per se, which Pedro just was not down for in any shape or form, because that's not what he wanted. Now with Sophie, the benefit you'd have is that she's not really a go-getter, so he wouldn't have to worry about her going out there and getting a job. You know, I mean, he wouldn't have to worry about her getting a job as a nurse. And because obviously, to be honest with you, it's very hard for anyone to want to be in a relationship with a nurse or a doctor because of the amount of hours that they work per day. You know, you barely see them, and when you see them, it's like, hi, bye. That's about, you know what I mean? Anybody that's in that line of work will know exactly what I'm talking about. Or anybody that's dated someone in that line of work would know exactly what I'm referencing to. But so for me personally, I think Pedro definitely want a woman that is more of a stay-at-home kind of woman. Do you know what I mean? Somebody that's going to be there to make sure his food's ready, his clothes are ready, all that kind of stuff. Now Sophie, on the other hand, is not that type of person. Even though she's not really a go-getter out there with, you know, trying to like get jobs and whatnot, she's definitely not the kind of person that, or type of woman you're going to come home to and your dinner's going to be ready. Because Robert complained about the fact that she was actually eating his snacks. He would be trying to get ready to go to work, but she would actually eat the food that he needed to have when he went for him to have when he's at work. So yeah, Pedro would definitely not be in a good position. Let's not forget that. Okay, that's something Rob did explain once upon a time as well. So Sophie's the kind of person that really and truly, when you're waking up early in the morning to go to work, she'll still be sleeping. She's not waking up early to get your stuff ready. No way, Jose. And if you're expecting to be home when you get back, she's probably going to be around her friend's house, you know, doing whatever the hell they're doing. Do you see what I'm saying? So yeah, you definitely wouldn't get that with Sophie. If anything, if this relationship is a thing, it is nothing. It is simply, listen, I'll keep it a buck. It is going to be one of those relationships where it's just going to be them to have a little bit of fun, okay, and then that's it. It cannot go any further. This person says, so one of Pedro's biggest icks about Chantel has that she never cooked it clean. Exactly what I just said. This is what I'm saying. Proceeds to get a girl who probably does less than Chantel. Facts upon facts. I never believed that excuse that she didn't cook and clean. It was just a manipulative way to try and look like the victim, when in reality he was done with Chantel and wanted to move on without people bashing him. I mean, listen, there is that part too. I'm not going to take that away from this comment itself, but to be honest with you, again, I think with Pedro, he just didn't want somebody that had a career of their own. You know what I mean? To be honest with you. Because there are a lot of men who don't want their women to have a career. There's a lot of men that do want the woman to be working a part-time job or a job with less hours and pretty much making sure that they're always at home to, you know, have what they need. But the only thing that's very contradictory about that is that Pedro was barely home on time. This guy would be out with his work buddies, having a good time. So for the most part, Chantel would actually be at home bored waiting for this guy anyway, and then also on top of that, he wouldn't even touch her sexually, which to be fair would benefit Sophie, but Sophie barely touched Rob sexually. So if she wants to keep that attitude and she doesn't really want to be, you know, intimate with her partner, well, then guess what? Pedro is exactly your guy. You might as well put Gino into that conversation too. But nonetheless, though, with that being said, though, those are my thoughts and my opinions. Obviously, there's more comments here, but we'll leave them just there. Let me know your thoughts, and we can most certainly talk about it. Do you think that this relationship is something that can actually become a real thing and actually go the distance? Or do you think this is going to be nothing but just a lust phase? And also on top of that, do you believe that these two may be back for another season? For me personally, I'm going to say no, because I personally don't see Pedro wanting to come back for another season. I don't feel like Pedro cares enough. I feel like for Pedro, in his eyes, there is no benefit of him coming back on the show anymore, because he's got his monies, he's got his career, he's got all that sorted out. So, you know, unless he's struggling, then maybe he may come back on the show for a little bit more sponsorship. But for the most part, I really don't see him really wanting to come back on the show, to be honest with you. His mom and his sister then probably would come back, but for him, yeah, I'm not really seeing it. But then again, though, if he really likes Sophie that bad and she's really, you know, putting his leg, then he may come back on there for her, which would be very, very stupid, in my opinion. But nonetheless, though, let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and of course, peace.